Did you know that the way you sleep tonight could be quietly aging your body, stealing energy from your heart, your brain, and even your joints? It sounds dramatic, but according to research from the National Institute on Aging, certain sleeping positions can increase your risk of chronic pain, poor circulation, and even memory problems. And here's what most people don't realize. Millions of seniors are sleeping in positions that make everything worse night after night without knowing it. I'm Dr. Jonathan Clark, and after 20 years of working with older adults, I've seen how something as simple as sleep position can make the difference between waking up refreshed or waking up in pain. For most seniors, sleep has become more difficult with age, tossing, turning, waking up exhausted or stiff. But what if the problem isn't how long you're sleeping? What if it's how you're sleeping? Your sleep position can either help your body heal or slowly break it down. It can ease your joints, protect your spine, improve blood flow, or it can do the exact opposite. Today we're going to talk about the 4 worst sleeping positions you should avoid after 60 and the 4 better ones that can help you wake up feeling rested and strong. Stay with me because what you're about to learn might change how you sleep starting tonight. Write your country in the comments. I want to know how many people are dealing with sleep problems right now. Why sleep position matters more as you age. Before we get into specific positions, you need to understand why this matters so much for people over 60. When you're young, your body can handle almost any sleep position. Your muscles are strong, your joints are flexible, your circulation is good, you can sleep twisted like a pretzel and wake up fine. But after 60, everything changes. Your spine becomes less flexible. Your joints develop arthritis. Your circulation isn't as strong. Your muscles don't recover as quickly. Suddenly, the position you sleep in all night has real consequences. It affects your breathing, your blood flow, your spine alignment, your joint health. A position that felt fine at 40 can cause serious problems at 70. And here's the thing most people don't realize. The damage happens slowly, night after night, year after year. You don't notice it at first. But over time, a bad sleep position can lead to chronic neck pain, back problems, poor circulation in your legs, difficulty breathing, and constant fatigue. The good news is that changing your sleep position can help reverse a lot of this damage. Your body wants to heal. You just have to give it the right conditions. So let's start with the positions you should avoid. Worst position number 1, sleeping on your stomach. The first position to avoid is stomach sleeping, lying face down. I know some of you have slept this way your whole life. It feels comfortable, familiar. But for seniors, it's one of the most damaging positions you can choose. Let me tell you about Harold, 72 years old, a retired carpenter. He came to my office exhausted and frustrated. He was waking up every morning with pounding headaches. His neck was so stiff he could barely turn his head. And his hands would go numb during the night, tingling and useless until mid-morning. When I asked how he slept, he said face down, always had. He thought it helped his back relax. But here's what was really happening. When you sleep on your stomach, you have to turn your head to one side to breathe. That means your neck is twisted at an awkward angle for 6, 7, 8 hours every single night. This constant twisting compresses the vertebrae in your neck, pinching the nerves that run into your arms and hands. That's why Harold's hands were going numb. It restricts blood flow to your brain. That's why he was waking up with headaches. The American Chiropractic Association has found that stomach sleeping significantly increases the risk of cervical misalignment, which can cause balance problems and coordination issues, especially dangerous for older adults. But it's not just your neck. Pressing your chest into the mattress limits how deeply your lungs can expand. Your diaphragm can't move freely. You end up taking shallow breaths all night. For someone over 60, this means less oxygen reaching your heart and brain, which leads to fatigue, foggy thinking, and can even raise blood pressure. And your lower back suffers too. Sleeping face down puts unnatural pressure on your lumbar spine because your stomach sags into the mattress, creating an exaggerated arch. If you have arthritis or disc problems, this position makes them worse. After I explained all this to Harold, he was genuinely shocked. He'd been sleeping this way for 50 years. I told him the damage had been accumulating slowly, year after year. His body tolerated it when he was younger, but now at 72, his body couldn't compensate anymore. Harold was skeptical about changing, but he was desperate. We worked out a plan. He'd train himself gradually to sleep on his side, using pillows for support. Within 3 weeks, Harold came back transformed. The headaches had stopped completely after the first week. The neck stiffness was 80% better. His hands, no more numbness, no more tingling. He said, "I didn't realize I was hurting myself every single night for decades. I feel like I got 10 years back." Worst position number 2, tight fetal curl. The second position to avoid is curling into a tight ball, what we call the fetal position. Knees drawn up to your chest, arms tucked close, curled like you're protecting yourself. Many seniors sleep this way. It feels safe, comforting, natural, but it's quietly restricting your body in ways that add up over time. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 68 years old. She'd slept curled in a tight ball her whole life. "It feels safe," she told me, "like I'm cradling myself to sleep." But she'd been waking up with shortness of breath, back stiffness, and increasing fatigue for years. When I examined her posture, I noticed she was becoming more stooped, less stable when she walked. The tight fetal position was literally teaching her body to curl forward. Here's why this position is problematic. When your knees are pulled close to your chest, your diaphragm gets compressed. Your lungs can't fully expand. You're taking shallower breaths all night. For older adults whose lung capacity is already reduced, this subtle decrease in oxygen can lead to chronic fatigue, morning headaches, and strain on your heart. But the bigger problem is what it does to your spine. Curling tightly for hours puts your spine into a C shape, shortening the muscles and ligaments that support your posture. Over time, this makes you more stooped, less stable, more likely to fall. Spine specialists call this the shrinking position because it literally teaches your body to curl inward. Eleanor agreed to gradually straighten out her sleep position using pillows for support. Within 2 months, her breathing improved, her energy increased, and her physical therapist noticed she was standing straighter. What began as comfort had slowly become a habit that robbed her of strength. Worst position number 3, flat on back with no support. The third worst position might surprise you because for years, doctors recommended it. Lying flat on your back, arms at your sides, like a soldier, Straight spine, even weight distribution. It sounds perfect. But for many seniors, especially those over 70, this position can be dangerous. Let me tell you about Robert, 74 years old, a veteran. He'd slept like a soldier his entire life, flat on his back, barely any pillow, arms by his sides. Pride in discipline. But as he got older, his wife started noticing disturbing things. Long pauses in his breathing at night, loud gasping sounds, and Robert would wake up exhausted every morning, dizzy, foggy. When he finally saw a sleep specialist, the diagnosis was severe obstructive sleep apnea. His sleeping position was causing his airway to collapse up to 30 times per hour. Here's what happens. When you lie completely flat on your back without proper support, gravity pulls your tongue and soft tissues backward, narrowing your airway. This leads to snoring, interrupted breathing, and drops in oxygen levels throughout the night. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, untreated sleep apnea in adults over 60 can increase the risk of stroke, heart attack, and memory loss by more than 60%. But that's not the only problem. Lying completely flat also worsens acid reflux, which affects nearly half of adults over 65. When your head is level with your stomach, acid can creep upward into your throat, burning your esophagus and interrupting sleep. Robert's story is a reminder that what seems like good posture can hide serious dangers. He needed elevation, support, not rigid flatness. Worst position number 4, sleeping in a recliner every night. The fourth worst position is something many seniors don't realize is a problem. Sleeping in a recliner chair every night instead of in a bed. It starts innocently. The recliner feels comfortable, easy to get in and out of, perfect for watching TV. And when lying flat becomes uncomfortable due to back pain, arthritis, or acid reflux, that recliner slowly becomes a permanent bed. But sleeping in a recliner every night is one of the most dangerous habits older adults can fall into. Let me tell you about Dorothy, 79 years old, a widow from Arizona. Dorothy had lived alone for 5 years. She was independent, active in her church, took care of her own home. But 2 years ago, her hip arthritis got bad enough that climbing into bed became painful. Getting back out in the morning was even worse. One night, exhausted and hurting, she fell asleep in her living room recliner while watching the evening news. She slept through the night for the first time in months. No pain getting in, no pain getting out. It felt like a blessing. So she did it again the next night, and the next. Within a month, Dorothy wasn't using her bed at all. The recliner became her bedroom. For a while, she felt better. But over the following months, Dorothy started noticing new problems. Her legs were swelling, especially her ankles. By evening, they'd be puffy and tight. Her lower back started aching constantly, a deep, persistent ache that never went away. And strangest of all, she felt exhausted all the time. She was sleeping 8-9 hours in that chair, but she'd wake up feeling like she hadn't slept at all. Brain fog, no energy, difficulty concentrating. When Dorothy finally mentioned all this to her doctor during a routine checkup, he asked a simple question that changed everything. Where are you sleeping? When she told him about the recliner, his face became serious. He explained what was really happening to her body, and it shocked her. Here's the problem. The semi-sitting position of a recliner restricts blood flow to your legs. When you're sitting, even reclined, gravity pulls blood down into your lower legs and feet. But the bent position at your hips and knees makes it harder for that blood to flow back up to your heart. Over hours and hours, night after night, blood and fluid pool in your lower extremities. This causes the swelling Dorothy was experiencing. But it's more than just uncomfortable. That pooled blood can form clots, what doctors call deep vein thrombosis. These clots can break loose and travel to your lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, which can be fatal. Dorothy's doctor told her she was at serious risk. The partially upright angle also prevents your spine from fully relaxing. Your vertebrae stay compressed, your muscles stay partially engaged, and over time, this leads to chronic lower back pain and accelerated muscle weakening in your hips, core, and legs. This muscle weakening increases your risk of falls. But perhaps the most insidious problem is what happens to your sleep quality. Because you're not lying flat, you never enter the deepest stages of sleep that your body desperately needs for healing and memory. Sleep researchers have found that people who sleep in recliners regularly show significantly less deep sleep and REM sleep on monitors. You might have your eyes closed for 8 hours, but your brain is staying in light sleep, never fully resting, never fully restoring itself. That's why Dorothy felt exhausted despite sleep in long hours. Her brain was never getting the deep rest it needed. Dorothy's doctor was firm. He told her that continuing to sleep in the recliner could shorten her life expectancy in a real, measurable way. The blood clot risk, the muscle weakening, the chronic sleep deprivation, all of it was accelerating her decline. He helped her work out a solution, a hospital-style bed wedge that could elevate her upper body slightly in bed, making it easier to get in and out without the dangers of the recliner. Dorothy was resistant at first. The recliner had become her comfort zone, but she was also scared by what she'd learned. She made the change back to sleeping in a real bed with proper support. The first few nights were difficult. She missed the recliner, but within 2 weeks, she noticed her legs swelling, starting to go down. Within a month, her energy was coming back. She told me later, "I thought I was resting and taking care of myself. I had no idea I was slowly shutting down my body." Better position number 1. Side sleeping with pillow between knees. The first and probably best position for most seniors is side sleeping with a pillow between your knees. It's simple, but it can transform how you feel. Let me tell you about Alan, 71 years old, retired firefighter. For years, he woke up every morning with dull pain in his lower back and hips. He tried pain medication, nothing worked long term. His physical therapist asked him one simple question: "How do you sleep?" Alan said, "On my side, knees together." That night, he tried putting a small pillow between his knees and making sure his head was aligned with his spine. Within 2 weeks, his pain had decreased by nearly half. "It's like my body finally relaxed," he said. Here's why this works. Side sleeping, particularly on your left side, promotes better blood flow to your heart and reduces acid reflux. The pillow between your knees keeps your pelvis balanced, which relieves pressure on your lower spine and hips, two of the most common pain areas for people over 60. It also prevents the twisting that causes morning stiffness. The Cleveland Clinic calls this the alignment saver position because it naturally supports your body's curves without strain. It's also one of the safest positions for sleep apnea because it keeps airways open. This position won't work for everyone, but for most seniors, it's the single best change you can make. Better position number 2, elevated back sleeper. The second better position is what I call the elevated back sleeper. Your upper body slightly raised, maybe 30 degrees, with a small pillow under your knees to relax your lower back. Let me tell you about Linda, 73 years old, retired teacher. She struggled for years with heartburn and shortness of breath at night. She'd wake up coughing, throat burning from acid reflux. Her cardiologist suggested something simple: elevate her upper body about 30 degrees and put a pillow under her knees. The results were life-changing. Within days, Linda could breathe easier and sleep through the night without pain. Here's the science. Elevating your head and chest uses gravity to keep stomach acid down and keeps your airways from collapsing. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine has found that seniors who sleep with their upper body slightly elevated have fewer episodes of snoring and sleep apnea, which reduces strain on the heart and brain. Meanwhile, the pillow under your knees takes pressure off your lower spine, allowing your muscles to fully relax. You can achieve this with an adjustable bed, a wedge pillow, or just extra pillows arranged properly. It's not about sleeping sitting up. It's about a gentle incline that lets your body function better. Better position number 3, starfish position. The third better position is called the starfish. Lying on your back with your arms gently spread to the sides, palms open. It looks simple, but it's deeply restorative when done right. Let me tell you about Linda, 69 years old, retired nurse. After decades on her feet, her shoulders ached constantly. She'd wake up with neck stiffness that lasted until noon. Her chiropractor suggested sleeping like a starfish. Arms relaxed, palms up, head supported with a good pillow. Within a week, Linda noticed a difference. Her neck pain eased, her shoulders felt looser. For the first time in years, she said, "I woke up without feeling my age." Here's why this works. When your arms are open and your shoulders aren't compressed, blood flow improves to your upper spine and the nerves that support your neck and hands. This posture can reduce tension headaches and prevent nerve compression, a leading cause of numbness and tingling in older adults. The position also supports calm breathing because your chest isn't restricted. This helps lower blood pressure and reduces strain on your heart. The key is proper support. You need a pillow that keeps your neck aligned, not too high or too flat. Better position number 4, the 45-degree side recline. The fourth and perhaps ideal position is what I call the 45-degree side recline. It combines the best of side sleeping with gentle elevation. Your upper body is supported at about 45 degrees. You're on your left side with a pillow between your knees and proper neck support. Let me tell you about Walter, 78 years old, former truck driver. After decades of back pain, acid reflux, and breathing problems at night, he'd tried everything. New mattresses, medications, even sleeping upright. Nothing worked. His physical therapist suggested this position: 45-degree angle on his left side, firm support behind his back, pillow between knees, another under his head. The first night he noticed the difference: no gasping, no heartburn, no hip pain. Within a week, he was sleeping deeper than he had in years. Science confirms this. Research shows this posture reduces acid reflux by up to 70%, keeps airways open, and supports spinal alignment, critical for those with arthritis. It also improves how your body removes toxins during sleep, which is directly linked to memory and brain health. This position requires some setup, usually a wedge pillow or adjustable bed. But for many seniors, it's life-changing. What you can realistically expect. So we've covered 8 positions today, 4 to avoid and 4 that can help. But let me be clear about expectations. Changing your sleep position won't fix everything overnight. If you've been sleeping badly for years, it takes time for your body to adjust and heal. But most people notice some improvement within a week or two. Less pain in the morning, better energy, easier breathing. And over months, the benefits compound. Better sleep means better memory, stronger muscles, healthier heart, lower blood pressure. Your body does most of its healing while you sleep. When you give it the right position, you're giving it the best chance to repair itself. Start tonight. Pick one change. If you're a stomach sleeper, try side sleeping with a pillow between your knees. If you sleep curled tight, try straightening out gradually. If you're in a recliner every night, move back to bed with proper support. Small changes lead to big results. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.